Hey there, welcome back to Midlife and Glowing. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nicole, and today we're breaking down the top wellness trends and what's actually worth it.
Because let's be honest, our feeds are full of them. Red light therapy, cold plunges, vibration plates, olive oil shots. There's always something new promising more energy, glowing skin, or better sleep.
And we get it. Midlife is the season where your body changes and you're looking for things that help you feel good, strong, and energized again. But how do you know what's actually worth it and what's just clever marketing?
So today we're breaking down some of the most popular health and wellness trends we've seen, what the science says, and our personal take on them, and whether they're hot or just hype.
Before we jump into the list, I think it's worth talking about why these things catch our attention.
Right, because most of us aren't chasing perfection. We're just looking for energy, calm, and ways to feel more like ourselves again.
And the truth is, many of these trends tap into three really important areas for midlife women: reducing inflammation, which underlies everything from joint pain to fatigue, supporting cellular repair, as hormone shifts impact metabolism and recovery, and then regulating the nervous system, because stress is the ultimate hormone disruptor.
And that makes total sense. And I think there's also this deeper thing. When you're in perimenopause or menopause, your body's changing. And after years of putting yourself last, you feel like it's finally your time. Plus, you're uncomfortable. So you're willing to try whatever it's going to take to feel good in your body again.
So, as we go through these, remember, none of these tools are magic, but some of them really can enhance your wellness routine when used intentionally.
The first category of wellness trends that we're tapping into is light, heat, and cold therapies. So let's start with one of our favorites, red light therapy.
Yes, you probably all know that this is one of my favorites. Red light therapy, or photobiomodulation, uses wavelengths of red and near infrared light to stimulate your mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of your cells that increase ATP, or energy production, which helps with cellular repair, collagen synthesis, and reduces inflammation.
So it's not just about glowing skin, it's helping at the cellular level.
Yes, exactly. And studies show that red light therapy can improve skin elasticity, muscle recovery, joint pain, and even mood. It's well supported and safe for home use, so this one's definitely a hot and worth it. I mean, we both personally use it and have for quite a long time. It's great for so many things. As we've mentioned, it's shown to be good for skin elasticity, reducing wrinkles. Like, that's a huge plus, right? A huge reason
Yes.
that I use it. It's also incredibly relaxing. It's great for stimulating hair growth. And, we mentioned that it's good for inflammation, and inflammation literally underlies every single chronic disease process in the body. So just that alone is a huge win for any therapy that provides anti-inflammatory benefits.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to say that not all red light therapy units are created equal. So we definitely have a few that are our favorites and are definitely worth the spend, because some just don't have, and you can go more into that because I don't know all the technical
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah, the ones that we really like have wavelengths that are supported in the research to actually have therapeutic effects. So that's really important when you're looking at a red light unit, to make sure that the wavelengths that it uses are well supported. The one that we use actually has the current models have 7 different wavelengths of light, and a lot of the options on the market only have 2. So that's just something to consider. Another factor is how much power it has and how intense it can be. So that's going to determine whether it's a really therapeutic dose of red light to deliver the kind of effect that you want. Other factors that you want to think about when you're looking at a red light unit is how much EMFs it releases, whether or not there's any flicker, because that can impact things like headaches. So the one that we really like is considered flicker-free and has great power behind it, delivering a therapeutic effect.
Yes, definitely. And when I'm scrolling online and I see people using the red light, I just want to give them a high five through the screen, because there's just so many benefits. And I love to see other people using it. I think when it was first kind of introduced, you had a lot of people that were like, really, a light can actually help with hair loss, skin elasticity, pain and inflammation. And, you had a lot of critics. And,
Yeah.
it's really cool to see people actually doing the research and realizing that it is a benefit for them in using it, and it, again, if you're using the right ones, it can cost a little bit of cash, but it's so worth it, and they last for years and years and years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a worth it trend for sure.
So we'll make sure to link that in the show notes. And if you still would like some more information on red light, we did dive deeper into red light therapy in a previous episode. I believe it was the biohacking one.
Yep.
So go back and give that one a listen if you want a little more information on that. And also red light is great because you can habit stack with it, which we love doing. So you can do it while you're on a vibration plate. You can do it while you're on a PEMF mat. It's nice to be able to multitask and habit stack those wellness tools.
Absolutely. We know you love multitasking.
Yes, I do. It's my favorite. Although when I was talking to our brother, he's like, no one's good at multitasking. I'm like, it's kind of my specialty. I don't think you know this about me, but like I specialize in multitasking. He's like, no one's good at it. I'm like, I kind of am, actually. Yeah. He's like, well, studies have been done. I'm like, well, I definitely do not fit.
They haven't studied me.
Right, exactly. So that was just kind of funny. He was trying to tell me, I'm like, you're not going to convince me. I kind of am the bomb at it. So whatever. Okay, next up is infrared and full spectrum saunas. And these are everywhere lately.
And there's a reason. Infrared saunas heat your body directly rather than heating the air, which makes them more comfortable. The benefits of sauna therapy include improved circulation, detoxification through sweating, lower blood pressure, and reduced inflammation.
And it just feels good. It's like your nervous system takes a deep exhale and it's kind of shedding those toxins or, whatever. It's doing all the things that it's doing, but it just feels really good.
Oh, absolutely. It feels amazing. Studies even show regular sauna use can lower cardiovascular and all-cause mortality risk. And then in our brain health episode, we talked about studies that showed that sauna therapy 4 times a week reduces risk for Alzheimer's and dementia by 65%. That's I'm still astonished by that.
Yes.
And it's also great for boosting immunity too. Another thing that I found really interesting recently is I had listened to a podcast episode that I think Huberman did with Stacy Sims. And she had mentioned in the episode that doing sauna therapy post-exercise, when you're kind of functionally dehydrated already, actually supports the body in increasing blood volume. And she kind of presented it as it actually would be a good way to train for higher altitude activity because you're basically building your blood volume before you go to that high altitude place in which more blood volume is going to be helpful for oxygenating your tissues better. And I thought that was really interesting. And I think in July, we got a sauna in our home and I've been using it regularly. And I donated blood recently. And I'm a newbie to blood donation. Okay, so the first time I donated blood was last October. And then I did it in March. And then I did it again in October. And the first 2 times I did it, I kind of felt just deficient afterwards. I would be out of breath for the first couple of days after doing it, just, on my regular walks. And I did feel like I needed to rest more. And I felt it, right? I noticed in how I felt that I was missing a pint of blood. And this time I felt amazing. Before I got off the chair, the lady was like, how you feeling? Do you need to sit there for a minute? I'm like, no, I'm actually feeling pretty good. I went out and sat in the waiting room while Chris was finishing up. And, they kind of like you to sit around for a little while just to make sure you're doing okay. They got snacks and stuff. I had brought my own water or whatever, and I'd eaten before, so I felt good. And I felt totally fine. We went for a walk later that day. I wasn't out of breath. I will say that I did notice it in my Ring app. It tracks heart rate and heart rate variability and everything. And I did notice it in that, but I didn't notice it in how I felt. So I thought that was really interesting because it was obvious to me maybe the, regular use of the sauna had actually increased my blood volume. So it didn't have as much of an impact donating blood this time. It didn't feel like it anyway. So I thought that was fascinating.
That is.
Just a little side note. So I would definitely say that this therapy is definitely hot and definitely worth it. So many different benefits, detoxification, immunity, brain health, so many things that can benefit from regular sauna therapy.
Yes,
I know
absolutely.
it's a spendy one.
It's a
This is a
spendy one.
spendy one. But they, as we mentioned in another episode, they do make sauna blankets too. So, don't just think, oh, sauna therapy is not for me because I can't have a, big sauna in my home. There's other options. Sauna therapy blankets, I want to say higher dose ones like $700 maybe. So, maybe it's not exactly pocket cash, but it's not thousands of dollars. And the benefits are well worth it.
Oh gosh, that Alzheimer's statistic. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
crazy.
know. It blows my mind.
Definitely. Okay, so now one that I kind of hate the idea of. Well, I don't just hate the idea of, I actually really hate it. It's cold plunges.
Yeah, cold plunges and cryotherapy are trending big time. The science shows cold exposure can increase circulation, reduce inflammation, boost dopamine, and build mental resilience.
But you have to work up to it, right?
Definitely. If you remember in our biohacking episode, we touched on advice from Dr. Stacy Sims, who is a world leading exercise physiologist, and she says cold plunge temps lower than 55 to 56 degrees aren't great for women. So there definitely is a difference between women and men in how cold therapy impacts us and which strategy to take with cold therapy. Like men could do the ice baths type of thing. Women probably shouldn't. So you want to start slow. Try ending your shower with maybe 15 to 30 seconds of cool water. It's not for everyone, especially if you struggle with thyroid or adrenal issues. So this one really depends on your reasoning for doing it. If you're doing it for mood, nervous system support, and resilience, it's worth it with the caveat on appropriate temperatures and using it appropriately.
I know my boys do the ice baths, but it makes sense for them because they're athletes and, they're constantly overexerting their bodies.
Yeah.
And so they really like it and they will do that. I don't like being cold except for when I sleep. So, oh, I don't like cold therapy. And it actually, do you remember when we went to the spa?
Yes.
So, they had the sauna, the steam room, the hot tub, and then they had a cold plunge. And, I don't know how someone could go into the cold plunge and not do like a, or, like make a
Yeah.
exclamation of the coldness that they're dealing with. Well, apparently you need to not make a single peep when you're in the spa because we did get reprimanded by the
We
spa
may have
staff
gotten,
because they didn't
yep,
like that we couldn't
noise.
hang with the cold therapy because I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't do that without making a peep. But
Yeah.
not for me. I mean, yeah, it has some benefits, but I think I'll stick with the other things. It's just not for me. But I will say though, hold on, let me backtrack a little because there is something so refreshing about like jumping in a cool, like we had gone to the beach and jumping into, I think it was Lake Michigan. It was so refreshing. And it was so cold, like painfully cold. It hurt,
Yeah.
but it was really refreshing. And once you kind of got used to it, it was refreshing, but it was also
Yeah.
really hot that day. So, yeah, not for me.
Yeah. I
Unless
know.
it's at the beach.
Right. I'm with you.
Okay, so let's move into the energy frequency world. Things like PEMF, vibration plates, and vagus nerve stimulation tools.
Yes, these are fascinating. PEMF, or pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, uses low frequency electromagnetic waves to recharge your cells. It supports energy production, reduces inflammation, and improves pain and recovery. And then there's research supporting its use for bone density and sleep, too.
So it's kind of like charging your body's battery.
Exactly. It's hot and worth it, especially for recovery, pain, or bone health, which are so important for women in midlife. To have a tool that's incredibly relaxing, so it's supporting your nervous system and as a result, hormone balance as well, but also supports better bone density. I just think that's amazing. And I would actually put this up there as one of the top wellness tools for women in this stage of life because of that bone density piece, because that's such a factor.
Absolutely. And I think this is another one, kind of like the red light, where people are a little hesitant to really believe that it has benefits to you, because it's like, it's a mat you're laying on, you don't feel anything, you don't hear anything, it's kind of just like
Yeah.
that. And so I think there is a lot of hesitance to spend the cash, because they're like, again, really, can that have any major? But this is actually something that NASA had used, so
Right.
it's not just a woo-woo, kind of therapy. This is actually scientifically proven to help
Yeah,
with those different
absolutely. On
things
the
that you
cellular
said.
level. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
wild. And again, this is another thing that we did kind of go into more detail on in our
Yeah.
biohack episode. So go back and give that a listen. But definitely something that's easy to stack too. If you're just laying there, you can do it before bed, when you get up in the morning, and there's different levels and different programs that you can put it on. So you can put it on if you're dealing with pain or an injury. You can put it on if you want help going to sleep. You can put, there's just all these different programs that you can use. So it definitely has a lot of benefits, and it's something that you can notice after using it, like that you're feeling better, or you're
Yeah.
feeling a different way.
And the programs depend on which one you use. So the one that you use actually has more options for different programs. The one that I have only has 4 options, which is fine. It's still, totally satisfies my needs in terms of what I'm using it for. But yeah, the different programs just depends on what type you use. And I will say that I used the one that you used when I had come home the last time. And the one that I use, I always feel like super relaxed and everything. And I don't know if it was the specific program that I used, if I was just needing it more at the time or what, but I was so relaxed using that one. Like, it made a huge difference. It kind of like, that feeling when it's almost like you're in that in-between state where you're not really sleeping, but it feels like you are. Like, you feel so relaxed. I felt like that when I was using yours, and not that I don't feel like that on mine, but I haven't felt it that deep. So
Yeah.
it did make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Mom says,
And yours has 8 copper cores and mine only has 4. So maybe it's just a matter of that it was stronger, or I don't know.
yeah, Mom uses it regularly, and she notices a big difference. It's like, I'm so relaxed. She actually listens to our podcast while she's on that and doing her red light.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, and she
Triple
says,
stack.
yeah, exactly. So she is so relaxed. She loves it, but definitely
awesome.
worth the spend for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, let's talk about vibration plates. Are they worth it or not?
They can actually be great for stimulating lymph flow, circulation, and even supporting bone density. This is another one that NASA has used to help astronauts maintain bone and muscle mass in zero gravity. It's also great for improving proprioception, so it's a form of fall prevention in a sense.
Okay, I wasn't sure what proprioception means. So that means,
Proprioception is basically challenging your balance so that the different intrinsic muscles in your lower legs are being activated. So it helps you develop more stability by challenging that balance.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, and you could also lose weight and firm your muscles using this, right?
Yeah, it is stimulating your muscles. You're contracting them as you're using it. So it would actually help in the same way that other types of exercise would, in a sense, in that exercise stimulates your muscles, right? So this is just another way to do it, essentially. You're challenging your body. You're having to use your muscles to maintain steadiness or stability on them. And that's, the contraction of the muscles is going to help build muscle. The more muscle mass you have, the better your metabolism is, the better able you are to burn calories. So yeah, it definitely can help with muscle strength and losing weight in the same way that exercise would. So this is another hot and worth it depending on what you want out of it.
Okay, next is vagus nerve stimulation tools like Apollo or Pulsetto.
Yeah, so these are amazing for stress management. The vagus nerve connects your brain to your body. It's the main switch for your parasympathetic or rest and digest system that we talk about all the time. Stimulating it helps regulate heart rate variability and lowers anxiety. It puts you in that relaxation mode essentially.
So it's like tech for your nervous system.
Yes, exactly. They're little devices that you wear. So the Apollo you typically wear on your wrist or ankle, and then the Pulsetto is a device that you put around your neck. But they both use frequencies that stimulate the vagus nerve. And for midlife women who struggle with stress or sleep, it can definitely be worth it if other tools aren't working for you.
Is it something that you wear constantly or just here and there?
Good question. It completely depends. So I think there's a difference too in those two systems. So like the Apollo, you could wear all the time. The Pulsetto, it's, if you go online and look at a picture of it, it wouldn't really be something that would be ideal to be wearing all the time because, looks
Wouldn't go with my outfits.
it wouldn't go with your outfits.
That'd be a problem.
That would be more of a, like using it as a therapy for a specified period of time. Maybe you do it before bed, maybe you do it in the morning, maybe you do it throughout, at various times throughout the day, but it wouldn't be something you would wear the entire day. Whereas the Apollo, you could wear for longer stretches of time. You could wear all night during sleep, for example. So there's a difference between them and how you would use them.
Okay. All right. And then we've got binaural beats. I hear these can be great for focus.
Yes, they use slightly different sound frequencies in each ear to synchronize your brain waves, helping you shift into calm, focus, or sleep states depending on what you're using them for, which frequencies you're using. So it's free, it's non-invasive, and evidence supports their use for relaxation and attention. When I had my brick and mortar office, this is something that I used to put on all of my patients' care plans anytime they were struggling with sleep or stress. And those are such common issues. So in fact, I had a patient whose daughter, she was maybe 6 years old, was struggling with sleep. So this patient used the binaural beats with her and she said it was really helpful. And it's so simple.
So for this, you actually have to have headphones, right? You can't just be listening to a sound. You should really just have the headphones so you can hear the sounds in your ears.
Exactly, because binaural beats means that there's different frequencies. So you're actually going to be hearing a different frequency in each ear. So you do want to use earphones when you're doing this, ideally. Great question. So this is definitely hot and free and definitely worth it. It's easy.
We like easy around here. Okay, let's move on to detox and circulation, the ritual side of wellness, those cozy sensory tools we love. Or maybe we don't. Let's see.
We'll find out. Let's start with dry brushing. It improves lymph flow, exfoliates the skin, and supports circulation, making it great for the immune system and detoxification. I love this one in the morning because it feels like it wakes up your whole body.
Same. It's energizing and it's great before a shower. Hot and super easy. And if you don't know how to do it, we do have a YouTube video where we kind of go through, well, Nicole is the teacher. I am also the student at that time, learning how to properly do dry brushing. So go check that out. We'll link it below.
Yep. And then we've got castor oil packs. These have been used for centuries to support liver health, lymph drainage, and inflammation. Research is still catching up, but anecdotally, they're great for digestion, hormone support, and they also stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, getting you into that relaxation mode.
Yeah, and I've heard it's important to go slow and work your way up when using the castor packs.
Yeah, definitely. I've used these over my liver and abdomen and they feel really great and grounding and soothing, but definitely want to work your way up. There's a number of different ways you can do it. You can use a flannel pack that you make yourself, or they actually make castor oil packs. And that's what I have and I've used. And you just, put a couple teaspoons on the pack the first time you do it, put it around your abdomen. The first time I did it, I want to say I only had it on for an hour, and I actually did feel a little bit nauseous afterwards. So definitely has more of an impact than you would think. It's something that you're like, oh, it's no big deal. I'm just putting castor oil on my body. Like, how could this? But it actually did have quite a significant impact, even just a small dose for a short period of time for me. And I do a lot for my health as it is. So you definitely want to work your way up. You can, as you do work your way up, you can sleep with it. I know a lot of people do. So that would be another thing. But yeah, I would say...
I've seen there's these like belly button patches. So
Oh,
also, kind of with that, it's the castor oil. I don't know if you put the castor oil in your belly button and then you put this like belly button castor oil patch thing over it. I'm
okay.
not quite sure. I haven't dug too deep into that, but I have seen them.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but I would bet it works very much in a similar way to the regular packs, just another way to apply it, I guess.
Because it also makes a difference too where you are focusing the packs on, over your
Yeah,
liver, over, whatever, the different
right.
organs down there.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I would say this one's definitely hot and worth trying if you're struggling with things like digestive issues, hormone imbalance, or are super stressed, because it does have that calming impact on your nervous system.
Okay, next up, let's talk about cupping.
Yeah, cupping is another great one for circulation and recovery. It increases blood flow, helps release fascia, and speeds muscle repair.
Yeah, I've never personally done cupping, but my sons have, after they tweak something in a hockey game or practice or something. And, I do see a lot of people with the, cupping bruises, it kind of looks like a hickey, but they're
Yep.
round circular spots on your back, or, I think you can actually do cupping on your face. But that's a little bit different cupping, I think, because you're not going to want to leave those
Yeah,
things on.
those bruises on your
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I have and they have said it helps. So.
Yeah. There's other techniques that basically are very similar to cupping. I used to do something called gua sha, which essentially uses a spoon to effect a similar result, we'll say. So, yeah, definitely hot, especially for anyone who works out or holds tension.
And then we have tongue scraping and oil pulling, two Ayurvedic practices that are having a major comeback.
Yeah, both support oral microbiome health, which is huge for inflammation. Tongue scraping removes bacteria buildup, and oil pulling with coconut or sesame oil can reduce plaque and bad bacteria.
But with the oil pulling, I think you need to spit it in your garbage and not in like your
Yes.
sink or, other places because that can kind of clog up your drains or whatever. So definitely spit that in the garbage.
Yeah.
And then tongue scraping, I think is so great because it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's removing all of the bad breath.
Right.
Get
Yeah.
rid of it.
Right.
But that is, you want to make sure you have copper or stainless steel tongue scrapers. You don't want to
Yeah.
have like the plastic. We talked about
Right.
the plastic before. Get rid of the plastic, but do copper or stainless steel.
For the tongue scraping, definitely. For the oil pulling, I haven't done it in a while. It's not a regular practice that I use, but I have done oil pulling before. And one of the things that I noticed, because you're supposed to swish, with the oil for like 10 minutes. So you're swishing for a long time. And it was like actually a workout for
Yeah.
my mouth. So, if you want to get a little facial sculpting and
Yes.
some neck exercises and things of that nature, oil pulling might be a good fit for
Hey,
you.
we like a dual purpose technique.
That's right. So, yeah, we're going to put it in the hot and easy daily win category.
Okay, so one of our favorite wellness trends that's actually worth keeping is the mineral mocktail. You've probably seen these all over TikTok, people mixing up their electrolyte powders, trace minerals, or sea salts in fancy glasses with water.
And the reason this one's so popular is because most women, especially in midlife, are walking around low in minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium, especially if you're stressed, sweating more, drinking coffee, or just not replenishing what your body's using.
So think of it as a hydration and nervous system support drink. It's giving your body the minerals it's actually craving.
You can make it super simple. Filtered water, a pinch of high quality sea salt, a squeeze of citrus, and maybe a splash of coconut water for potassium. If you want to get fancy, add a few drops of liquid minerals or a packet of electrolytes that aren't loaded with sugar.
And you can download the Daily Goal Rituals Guide to check out a simple recipe for a mineral mocktail we use. So this one is definitely hot and worth it.
Yes.
Okay, and we didn't talk about this one beforehand, but I'm going to throw this one at Nicole. I think I know the answer, but it's one I keep on seeing over and over again, and it's juice
Okay.
cleanses.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. No. So I'm giving that one a big fat no. And the reason is, okay, here's the thing. I like the idea of the benefits of vegetables and fruits and things like that, plant food. Yes, wonderful, love it. But when you juice something, you are removing the fiber, okay? So you're removing a major beneficial part of the food. Fiber is so fantastic for our gastrointestinal system, for supporting blood sugar stability. So removing that, I actually don't think is a plus. I don't think that's a benefit to us. So instead of doing juices, I actually prefer people blend or just eat the food itself, and you're getting the full benefit of that food, right? So, I mean, if you're doing something like a wheatgrass shot or something like that, no big deal every now and again. But when people do these full juice cleanses, that's a hard no for me from a blood sugar standpoint, from getting other beneficial nutrients and plant ingredients like fiber in along with it to support your body. Now, a lot of times people will say, oh, it feels so much better. That's because they're not eating all of the other crap that they normally are eating, right? Sugar, trans fats, excess refined carbohydrates, right? All of those ultra processed foods have such a negative impact on the body. So yeah, when you cut them out and replace them with fruits and vegetables, you're going to feel better. Unless you have significant blood sugar dysregulation and you do something like a juice fast, you might not feel super great. So yeah, I would say that's a hard no for me. Thanks for bringing that one up.
I knew you were going to say that. All right, let's switch gears and hit a few others quickly. Aromatherapy, hydrogen water, and olive oil shots.
Yeah, so aromatherapy is backed by research. Essential oils like lavender, bergamot, and orange can reduce anxiety and promote calm by activating the limbic system in your brain. So totally hot, totally worth it if you use high quality oils. We'll make sure to link to the oils that we use in the show notes. Quality matters. When it comes to essential oils, supplements, herbs, things like that, you gotta go with high quality options.
Definitely. I can say, as someone who uses aromatherapy regularly, oh my gosh, I love it. I like to set up my diffuser the night before. So in the morning, I can just go and turn on the diffuser. It makes such a difference. Like that scent
Yeah.
is like another energetic boost, or, it can be calming or whatever, whatever
Yeah.
oils you use. But oh my gosh, I love it. But I am somebody that loves scents. I've always been a big scent person, but I don't like the extra chemicals and toxins and hormone disruptors that some scents can have. So I love essential oils for that.
Yeah, I mean, it basically sets the stage for what mood you want, right? Like it sets the environment. So, yeah,
Yeah,
love
for
it.
sure.
And so many healing benefits, healing properties in essential oils. They can have really powerful effects. Again, a lot of things people might be skeptical of, oh, is this really doing much for me? But they kind of have a big impact.
Oh, for sure. I mean, think about when you go to the spa, like you're surrounded by
Oh,
essential
yeah.
oils and scents, and that just sets you up for like this most serene, calming experience. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, hydrogen water. This one's interesting. The claim is that molecular hydrogen acts as a selective antioxidant, reducing oxidative stress.
Yeah, there's early research supporting it, especially for exercise recovery and inflammation, but more studies are needed, definitely. One of the cool things is that the molecules are so small that they can cross the blood-brain barrier, so as a potential for being a brain antioxidant. And I think that could be really helpful, especially if brain health is something that you're actively focusing on. So we're going to list this one as warm, but promising, and actually one that I do personally use daily.
Okay, next up, olive oil shots. And I know this one's trending, but I have to say it gives me a little bit of the ick.
Yeah. People are taking shots of high polyphenol olive oil for heart health and longevity. The benefits of olive oil are clear. but you can get them by drizzling it on salads or veggies too. So there's really no need to shoot it. So we're giving this one a warm too. This is not a hot one. We're going to say this one's warm because you don't have to do a shooter of olive oil. You can just put it on your food and it will still have amazing benefits. And actually, if you put it on your food, then you're also getting the beneficial cofactors of the food that you're eating it with. And, these food-based nutrients all work synergistically together. So doing it as part of your meal, I think, is a better strategy.
I'd much prefer that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something about shooting back olive oil just, no thanks.
Yeah, actually, I shared with you earlier that before I knew better in college, I did one of those gallbladder cleanses where I literally drank a half a cup of olive oil and lemon juice together. And, the idea is that in one sitting, it's horrendous. God. It's like this whole thing. Like you drink this magnesium drink, I think, or I don't even remember what was involved in it. This was like, must have been 20 something years ago, but it was a long time ago. The idea is that you basically purge all the stuff from your gallbladder. But after going to chiropractic school and learning all of these things about how the body works and what's good for the body and what's maybe not, you could actually do some major damage in something like that. If you have you could lodge a gallstone and end up being in an emergency situation where you would need to have a gallstone removed from your bile duct, and that would be horrible. And it was a terrible experience anyway. I felt so terrible. The idea is that afterwards, then you feel good. And I did feel, after I recovered from the experience, I felt good. But maybe it was because, I finally didn't feel so horrible from my gallbladder basically spasming from all the liquid fat that I had just consumed.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
That's a no.
As someone who had to get their gallbladder removed, I've had many a gallbladder attacks in my days. To do that willingly? No way. That was awful. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pass on that one. Just have it with your salad, people.
Right.
Ooh, no thanks. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the big ticket trends. NAD infusions, IV therapy, and hyperbaric oxygen.
Yeah, these are the heavy hitters of modern wellness.
Starting with the NAD plus infusions, I keep seeing these pop up everywhere, and I gotta say, I'm very intrigued.
Yeah. NAD is a coenzyme that supports cellular repair and mitochondrial function. Levels decline with age, and replenishing it may support energy and longevity. So it's considered an anti-aging nutrient, which is why it's so popular.
Definitely speaking my language.
Absolutely. Same. The evidence is early but exciting. So it's hot, but only if it fits in with your goals and your budget.
Well, I want it to fit in with my goals and my budget.
I know.
And speaking of having the budget, this is one that I hear is very popular with the celebrities, and they have the budget to be able to do it. And also I've been seeing IV nutrient therapy.
Yeah, it's great for, depending on what you're getting infused, it's great for hydration and short-term nutrient boosts. Also good for certain medical conditions depending on which nutrients are being used. But as with all of the rest of these, it's not a substitute for foundational health, right? So this one is warm, but used as the need arises.
This is actually something I looked into. I had a trip that I was going to be going on, and of course I got sick right before. And I'm like, oh no. I was doing all the things, taking my vitamins, doing all the things, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish we had something around here that I could do. It turns out we did, but I didn't end up doing it. But that is definitely a time when I really truly consider doing it because, I was going to be on an airplane. I was going to be at this event and I didn't want to be sick for. Unfortunately, I was still sick for the entire trip, but I could really see this being something that you'd want to do, if you're starting to feel sick or you have a big event coming up and you want to kind of protect yourself against getting anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And, great for recovery. As you mentioned, I think I had shared with you that I had a patient that I had recommended. I can't remember if she did the Myers cocktail, which is a common IV nutrient infusion, or just glutathione, but she did some IV infusions and she had an autoimmune condition and it worked fantastically for her. So it made a humongous difference in her quality of life. So depending on what your goals are and what you're wanting to use it for, it can be really effective and really helpful.
Okay, let's move on to hyperbaric oxygen therapy. I've seen people use it for recovery and brain health.
So hyperbaric oxygen therapy increases oxygen delivery to tissues, supporting healing and cognitive function. It's used medically for wounds and now for recovery and longevity too. So it's also used to treat altitude sickness. Interestingly, Chris and I are planning on going to Peru this next year. And one of the things that I had looked at was how can we prevent altitude sickness? And they actually have, specifically in the place that we're going in Cusco, they have hyperbaric oxygen therapy clinics to support people that are dealing with this kind of thing. So I would say it's hot, but very high end if you plan on either getting your own or using them frequently.
Now, this is something that kind of like reminds me like a tanning bed, but enclosed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're enclosed.
that could be a little bit tricky for anyone that's claustrophobic. I have never done this. I'm interested in doing it, but also have a fear that I'm not going to be able to handle it. Okay, so here's what I love about this whole conversation. So many of these tools can support your health, but the foundation is still the basics.
Yeah, if you're not sleeping, moving, hydrating, and managing stress, none of the fancy stuff will stick.
That's so true. And the most powerful wellness trend will always be consistency. Daily care, not necessarily expensive gadgets.
100%. But once those foundations are in place, these tools can really enhance how you feel. And I will say, too, the other thing to think of is that you don't need to use all of the tools because many of them have benefits that overlap. So you can use them all, but you don't need to. For example, if you're doing sauna therapy and red light therapy and PEMF, do you also need to do a vibration plate? Maybe not. You know, the benefits that you would gain from a vibration plate might already be covered in your red light therapy, PEMF, sauna, those types of things. So it really depends on what your current lifestyle is, what your goals are, what your budget is, right? Like how much you want to spend on the different tools that you use, and where in your health you need support, right? Like, is it inflammation? Is it bone density? Is it nervous system support? Kind of take a look at what your goals are to determine what might be effective for you, and just know that it's not one of those things where you have to do all of the things, because many of these have similar benefits.
Right. Okay, so if we had to give quick takes, here's how we categorize it. Hot and worth it, red light therapy, infrared saunas, PEMF, minerals, aromatherapy, dry brushing, castor oil packs, tongue scraping, and vagus nerve tools. And then warm, maybe, would be hydrogen water, IV therapy, olive oil shots, and NAD infusions. And then not necessary, anything that feels extreme, promises overnight results, or drains your bank account or energy. And then a big no would be
juice cleanses.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know we have olive oil shots in the warm or maybe category because olive oil is fantastic. You just don't need to shoot it. That's just our point there.
Okay, so the takeaway is wellness isn't about doing everything. It's about finding what feels aligned with your body, your budget, and your goals.
Yes, because what's hot is whatever supports your health in a sustainable way.
And I think midlife is the perfect time to experiment, but also to trust your intuition. You know your body better than anyone else.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about chasing the next thing. It's about creating the routines and rituals that help you glow from the inside out.
And that, my friends, is the real wellness trend that never goes out of style.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope this episode helped you cut through the noise and focus on what actually matters.
And if you try any of these tools or trends, tag us on TikTok or YouTube. We'd love to hear what's working for you.